Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. 1 second, and hopefully the broadcaster works here for us tonight. See there, there. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. There. All right. Well, it seems like it's coming through okay. So we've been having a few issues with the broadcaster and YouTube recently, but it seems to be coming through okay right now. As folks join in, can you just verify? Can we do a hey Reed? What's going on? We're here with Paul. We're here with Algo 382 for the weekly Elliott wave analysis show, riding the waves with John and Paul. Paul, can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, John?
Hey,
Hey,
what's going on? Can you guys hear Paul on the other end?
do a little quick sound check here. One, two, three.
Fantastic. I love it. Good, good, good. Yeah, Paul's joining us from hey Emmy. Yeah, so it's not going to be well, it might be an hour. It'll 30 minutes, an hour, however long it takes us to get through the charts and all that stuff. We'll try to go through some chart requests. We're going to go through an interesting topic here tonight on Elliott Wave that I think has been on a lot of people's minds. So we're basically going to talk about how to enter into it when things are setting up. How do we look to enter that on the intraday charts, right? So really good stuff right there. But again, guys, really happy to have Paul here with us again tonight for our weekly Elliott Wave show, riding the waves with John and Paul. And before we get started, though, just a quick reminder that everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. So what we're going to do is what I normally do is that we're just going to take a quick look and see where we left off in the market on Friday, and then we're going to take a glance at the futures and see what they're up to or down to this evening. And then we're going to get started with the show, and we're going to take a look at a few wave counts that are out there. But before we do that, we're going to talk about a topic this week I think which is really interesting. Some folks have been talking about like how to get in on an Elliott wave. So I think that'll be pretty fun. So let's get started. All right. So SPX again up 32 points last week on Friday. Monthly chart looking pretty good, coming off of a nice monthly chart. Remember, this was an inside month right here, and we started to take that up. So we held that level, which was really important for this to work its way up. We hit fresh all-time highs last week, and you can see on the weekly chart, right, we had that big, strong candle right here, which broke over these resistance levels, and that was a major, major area, right, because we dropped off of that a couple times, then we dropped off of it hard here, and then once we thrust through that, that was important. And then we got this doji sandwich look right here that was like, okay, what's it going to do? Is it going to be a reversal doji sandwich? And then it gave us an inside week, right? And then we had Thanksgiving, and we started to push our way up, and then boom, there we go. We're continuing to work our way up here. So it all kind of came down here to the Elliott wave count that we've been tracking, right? So we know we've had this crazy, Corona crash reversal, and then we had this steep corrective pattern here. And so we were wondering if that was the end of the wave, right? It was just an ABC down, possibly a zigzag down, and maybe this thing was just going to impulse its way up. But then once it kind of came back down again, this definitely looked like a clear ABC formation. And then we started to impulse up. It was very, very clearly impulsive. It was not easy, right? Each day kind of left us with these crazy upper shadows, and then eventually it pulled back down off of this shooting star, but not much, right? And then when we zoom in here, we can take a look and see what's been going on. And we can see, right, we had this ABC formation to give a quick wave 2, and then we got this 1-2-1-2, and that looks like we're working on that larger wave 3 of 3 to the upside so far. So pretty cool stuff there. Let's take a look at the price action here on Friday. Again, it had a strong candle at the open. It gave you a bunch of upper shadows right here, then got really strong again, then chopped for a while, and then gave you this kind of 1-2 up, which was pretty interesting into the close. And of course, we had our levels that we provide to our members. It's fun when you have price discovery. A lot of these levels really end up helping a lot, right? Because it gives us ranges of targets, and algos and floor traders use them, and so it makes it really helpful to get to these levels. And you can see we actually we ended up getting to the R2 level before pushing up into the close, which was really nice. So let's take a look at the futures here and see how they're behaving here. It looks like they're misbehaving a little bit. So we're down about 1.75, but we got a big push into the opening of the session. So what it looked like here is that we had this nice channel up, so good geometric line right here, and we pulled back right to it, and it looks like we're kind of bouncing off of that right now. So we could look at this as an impulsive wave up, right? So here's a potential move up right here. Here's kind of like an ABC down, right? And we're kind of got this 1-2-1-2 going on right now, maybe a 1-2-1-2-1-2. to, but it's hanging on there. It's hanging on to the impulsive channel. So we'll see if this thing can work its way up and maybe give another impulsive move, and to infinity and beyond. We'll see where that goes from there. So good stuff. So we've got Paul here this evening with us. We got Algo382. Always happy to have him here on the show with us. And so tonight we're going to be talking about something special, right? So a lot of folks ask us, you can see an Elliott wave count, right? We can put a daily chart out there. You could put a 4-hour chart or a 2-hour chart there. You can see the Elliott wave count. Well, how do we look to get in those on the intraday basis? Now, obviously, there's a lot of different strategies out there, and each of us will talk a little bit about how we like to do that. But in our group, there's folks that are in our that have our bubble report can upgrade, and of course you can just jump in our trade with Paul link there in the YouTube description to join us in the Discord and ask those questions during the day. And one of the trades that Paul took this week was a really interesting one and interesting name, and it's the stock Solo, SOLO, and Paul had a great wave count on it, and I think he's going to talk a little bit about how he found his entry on that, what he looks for, especially because he's an Elliott wave purist and really finds some great setups intraday on those to get into the larger wave. So Paul, let's talk about Solo a little bit. Solo.
No, sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, we were watching this one for a couple days, and we started out just with the wave count. We had a wave 1 up, and then we were going to get an ABC down for wave 2. And the C wave was going to be 5 waves, so we were looking for an entry. So it pretty much started out, we were counting the 5 subwaves down. And when we got to wave 5, we ended up in the golden zone right around between 618 and 786. And at that point, what I usually like to do is switch to a smaller time frame, like 5 minutes or 3 minutes. And at some point, the price action changes from corrective to impulsive, and you can just literally count the impulse wave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we get another pullback, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's how we know when to enter when we start seeing an impulsive move up on a smaller time frame.
Nice. Can you show that? Because I know you traded this successfully the other day.
Yeah,
if you could go into the lower time frames, I know you're I think you like to look at the 15 and the 5.
Yeah, let's see. Here's the 15 minute. Let me go. I'll go to a 5 minute one here.
Yeah, you can just see when it's impulsing up. That's what I love about Elliott Wave, is you don't have to catch the beginning of the move, right? You don't have to just be, of course, when you have a golden zone area, that's one method, right? If you don't have time to stare at the charts all day. If it's in that area, you can look for a generally low risk, high reward opportunity to get in, have your stop below the golden zone and let it ride, right? So of course risk management is critical. But when you're day trading or you're looking for an entry intraday, you can see a nice impulsive move up. So Paul, let's take a look at that one right there. So that you could see it dropped and then it started to impulse up.
Yeah, we had this drop down, and then the whole move here is a 1, 2, 3. You can see the triangle 4 and then 5. This one wave on an even smaller time frame also broke down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which I was watching on the TOS screen, and that's what we saw, and that's how we got in. And it just comes down to counting the waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count for an impulse up.
Exactly, and that's the best part. That's exactly how we do it too, intraday, right? So, Paul and I, obviously every trader is different. Paul and I, trade different. I mess with the futures a lot, and we trade a lot off of levels. But one of the things that we like to look at is as I trade often, is off of the 1 minute chart. And so, a lot of times when we can catch a key level or a zone, this is what we look for, right? This is how we like to do our counts. So the way I like to tell folks that are in our group is, don't worry if you miss the bounce off of a level, right? If it's impulsing and this is starting a fresh wave up, we can always find another wave to enter in on, right? Because we know, very likely that a wave is going to go in 5 waves, right? That's the idea. So you can see right here, just off of the open here on Friday, you can see an impulsive move up here on the S&P futures, right? So our goal naturally is to get to the next level above, and we had members that did really well on this one, trading this to the long side. So we have our signal zones, and we also have our key levels that we provide to our members as well on the futures. This these take into account the prior day's value areas. They take into account the overnight highs, and they give us good targets and levels to trade against. And one of the things, part of the game plan that we put out on Friday, was certainly that if we failed to break below the prior day's point of control, that we would look to see if this impulsive move up, because right, we've been talking about every day about the impulsive move up, the wave 3 of 3 on the daily chart. So naturally, we're looking for impulsive moves to the upside, as fun as it is to short. So what I said in the group was, as a game plan for the day, is if we can get over this signal zone and over the prior all-time highs and consolidate there for a little bit, we could expect some more upside, right? So once we saw the impulsive move at the open, you could see here this gave a very clear wave up, right? 1, 2, right? You can even look here, 3, 4 on the smaller term, on the 1 minute time frame, triangle 4, and then a 5 up to push over those levels. So that's a nice trade right there. I mean, things are not going to go vertical. Very rarely are they going to go vertical all the time, right? So we can take profit right here and then see how the rest of the wave is materializing, right? So at this point here, it did what we thought it was going to do. It consolidated over these levels. It gave a nice impulsive move up, right? And then we can look to get on the retrace on this, right? It gave it a triple inside one right here. And you can see just off of this, right? Just off of this wave up, right? This came right down into the 618-786 golden zone, right? On the intraday basis, right above our key levels. And it gave another impulsive move up. So for futures traders, that's huge, right? 36.83 to 36 for a 5-point move in 3 minutes. That's fantastic, right? And then it turned into a 1-2-1-2 and then just pushed its way up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. We're done, right? So that makes a really, really nice move, and it started for the rest of the day. So when looking for impulse, it depends on what your time frame and your goals are. So for day trading, for futures trading, right, you can go all the way down to the 1 minute chart and look for these waves setting up and look for these impulsive moves, especially off of key levels. And especially when we have the macro picture in play, right, we can look for those impulsive moves to the upside, right? So that's, I think, really, really critical, especially intraday. So again, everybody trades differently, right? If you're counting a larger impulsive wave up, you might want to trade off of the 30-minute chart. And then maybe you can go down to the 5-minute chart to find a granular entry, right? That's kind of the concept there. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, that sounds great. Exactly. Yep.
Nice. So good stuff. So what do we got for this week, guys? So we've got a few things that are on the radar. Elliott wavewives that we think might be setting up going into this week. There's a lot of good counts out there after talking with Paul about it. So Paul, do you have any that you want to share with the group here? And then I'll show a couple ones I'm looking at, and then we'll see. We'll run through some chart requests that are out there. We won't be able to get through all the chart requests, but we'll do the best we can to just kind of pay attention to time.
No, that sounds great. We could start out with Zoom, I guess. A lot of people are watching this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zoom. So let's see, what do we got here? The way I'm looking at this is we have a 1, 2, and then a 1 wave up, and the 1 wave breaks down pretty clear into a 5 wave. And then we have this ABC down. It's a 3-wave move, ABC, right into the golden zone. And we've been stuck between the 618 and the 786 for at least 3 or 4 days, it seems like. So I'm thinking we're going to bounce out of here. I look at the 786 kind of as a line in the sand. We want to stay above the 786, to stay bullish.
And I'm with you there too. But if you don't mind, I'd like to show Zoom as well, because we were talking about this over the weekend on Twitter, and it's interesting, right? Because folks can come up with different wave counts, right? It's only when you can't find an alternative wave count that we're really super duper confident in a wave, right? So if you don't mind, I'd like to show what I'm looking at on. Yeah, if you don't mind, sorry, I was just looking at one of the comments in there. So good. So yeah, so let me show you guys Zoom. So this is what I'm looking at. Right? Zoom could go either way, right? I love Paul's count. I think I would love it to be bullish, right? Because Zoom is fun to trade to the upside. One of the things that we're kind of looking at here is, a couple different strategies, right? So overall, for me, I like to see on the daily chart, I like to see things breaking out of geometric lines, right? So we've got this big geometric line right here, which is going to be a very important one to get above and confirm above, right, for this thing to get going. And then folks are like, well, yeah, but to get there, that's 40 points to get there, right? So when you get into the lower time frames, you're going to be like, okay, how are we going to do it, right? So we do have a shorter geometric line right here. We're kind of a mini triangle right now, this kind of mini consolidation pattern. What I really like about Zoom going into this week is that we've got a double double inside day, right? And so a double inside day can often lead, that's like a true contraction to expansion area. So notice how the top of this old geometric line is being tested, and it also makes a small geometric line right here. So I think going into this week is going to be very interesting. We really want to see if this can push over this daily chart and if it can get above here. Now there's lots of levels of potential resistance, right? So we've got the daily cloud right here, and we have the 80 MA, which we are below. The 8 is below the 50, right? So generally that's pretty bearish. It doesn't mean that this thing can't start to work its way up, right? Indicators always lag price, volume, and time, right? So the price is going to tell us what it wants to do. So we really want to see what type of strength we can get above these levels, right? If we're leaning bullish on it, of course, we'll try to trade an impulsive wave up on it. But one of the things that, and then we've got another big thing too. We've got two gaps. We got this gap right here, and then we got this huge gap down here. So I'm leaning towards this target, but obviously we're going to follow price and see what it does. So let me just show you guys real quick, kind of what I'm looking at here on the 1 hour time frame. Well, here's the daily time frame. So it's possible, right? It's possible that we finish the wave 5 up, and we talked about this here on the show. Paul nailed this this triangle, this wave 4 triangle right here, and then to finish the wave 5. So the real question is the impulsive move done to the downside? And it's a tough count, right? So when we look at the bigger move, right, this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, right, to finish wave A of a larger zigzag, right? And this could be an A. You can see right here I've got A, B, C up for a wave B, right? So this is your A, this is your B, and maybe, just maybe, right, this thing could be working on a larger push down for a larger zigzag move. We could see this, right? We could see this. We could see a fake breakout, right? A little bit of a bull trap right here. So if things get bullish tomorrow, that's why volume is going to be really key right here for this thing to go, right? And we've got, again, under the 80 made all that stuff. So we might actually break out of the double inside day high. That could get a lot of bulls in there. And then this thing decides to be like, okay, that's just a wave 2 off of this move, and maybe it even goes higher, like to the gap, and of course we'll still trade it off if it's impulsive, and then we might see a larger flush down, right? So this 3, 4, 5 to finish that zigzag move, fill the gap, and then see where we go from there. So it's kind of interesting, right, to see a couple different wave counts on it. So I just had to put my 2 cents in on that one.
No, sounds good. There's always more than one count for sure.
But sometimes you can't, right? Sometimes you cannot find an alternate count, and then when that happens, it's go time.
Yep. Yeah, you want one count that's real solid and real basic and real easy to identify.
Absolutely. So what else do you have on the radar this week, Paul?
How about JMIA?
JMIA! This is epic! That thing was epic!
Yeah, we caught this epic wave 3 up right here. It was a really big push. Some people caught that, and then we had our ABC down right into the 618, and to me it looks like we have a wave up, and I think we're going to go a little lower into this box before we go up again. But it's a nice setup, and we're just going to see where price goes tomorrow.
Nice. That looks like a good one. Let's
see what else. How about eBay?
eBay! Is this thing ever going to move again? So when it moves, it moves. When it moves, it moves.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so here's eBay, and it's pretty much, it had an impulse up, a wave 3, and then we had an ABC wave 4, and then it looks like we've had a wave 1 up, and what we're going to do is count the waves on the way down, ABC down for 2, and when we see an impulsive move up, we'll try and get in a long position.
Nice. You had this in the bubble report not too long ago.
Yeah. It's taken a little longer to trigger, yeah.
Yeah, but it's given some nice moves. It's given some pretty decent moves. So
yeah,
that's good. Let me pull up one I'm looking at here, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Let's take a look here. So let's. So what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at Boeing. So look at Boeing, guys. I mean, this is why we watch these things for so long, right? So I mean, this thing was just triangulating and consolidating forever, right? And so it, really it gave this big impulsive move up right here, right? This 1, 2, kind of 3, 4, 5 move up right here, and then it's been in this long kind of A, B, C, probably more like a WXY, type move, and then it started to break out again, right? So looking at Boeing, right, we've got this almost a clear impulsive move up. So, like I said the other day in Twitter, I was like, all right, so here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I was like, all right, well, if this is going for a wave 5 up, it's got to hold this area. I mean, it just got to, right? Because, I mean, granted, it could have gone a little bit lower, but it's starting to get really weak right here. But this is right off of the 618, just off of this fresh wave up. So I was thinking that this was a subwave 1 of 5, right? So I was thinking this is say subwave 1, and I was like, okay, ABC wave 2. Let's see if it can push up for a wave 3 to get into wave 5. So it looks like this could be a wave 3 of 5 right here. Subwave 3 of 5. We have an inside day on Friday. So let's see if this kind of gives us a couple more days, a little kind of choppy pull down action. Let's see if it can hold the 382 levels right here. Right? Maybe just kind of give us this ABC move, and then we'll look at it, see if that Boeing has some more upside on it. So that's definitely one that's going to be on the radar going into this week.
Yeah, looks good.
Nice. As I just pulled over your chart, so you got Regeneron. You have been talking about this for a while, that it is coming down to the bottom of the channel, and a lot of folks who got bullish on this one early, and we're like, I don't know, let's see how it handles the channel low.
Yeah, this one just kept going down, and we've been counting the waves, and it just kept going down. But it looks to me like we could go lower. We just have a 1, 2, 3, and we should get a 4 or 5 down before we go up again. So we're just counting the waves. I thought we were going to bounce off the channel, but we'll see. These pharmacy names are a little tricky.
Yeah. Nice. So that could be epic. So we got to look, right? So we got to make sure. We got to look for impulsive waves to the upside. Maybe it'll pull back there to the bottom of the channel, and then we'll see, right, if it can give us some impulsive indications to work its way up. Regeneron's a tough one to trade, but when it goes, and it can play. So good stuff there. Anything else you got on the radar this week, or are we ready to look at some chart requests?
About one more somebody was asking about on Twitter. I think it was Blink. Let's see here. Don't blink.
Yeah, don't blink. This thing can move.
But so here's Blink. We had our classic ABC down for wave 2. Then we had a wave 1 up and wave 2 down. It looks like we had another little push up, subwave 1. And we're looking for a subwave 2 down tomorrow, down to the 618, and we'll count the waves and see if we get a bounce off the 618 or the golden zone. But I like Blink. I think it's got room to go.
I like it. So we'll keep an eye on Zoom. We'll keep an eye on Blink. Keep an eye on eBay. Keep an eye on Boeing. So some good ones out there. Nice, Paul. Awesome. Well, good stuff. This has been a great discussion today. So I really like how we're talking about finding those entries. Once we have a good wave count, or a wave count that we like, how to find the entry on the intraday to try to ride those larger waves up. So really good stuff. All right, well, we'll have a little bit of time out there for some chart requests. So let's take a look and see. Let me see if anything came through right here. So Shirley did send a few in here via email. So I'm just gonna put 2 of those on the list right here from Shirley. Again, guys, thanks everybody for keeping Shirley in your thoughts and prayers as she gets better all the time. So let's take a look here. We've got she had CRWD and CAT. So we'll take a look at those in a little bit. But good stuff. All right, let's run through and see what everybody's doing here. So Reed, thanks for tuning in, man. GG, what's going on? Thanks for making it. I mean, yep. Again, we'll see how long it takes, but again, thanks for being here. Munisum, thanks so much for the sound check. Mike, thanks so much. Steven from Glen Ridge, New Jersey, what's going on? Good to see you. And then we got 1212 Paul here today. Exactly. So, so Mike's got a chart out there. Laser, LAZR. Let me go ahead and pull that one up real quick, because I think this one is Laser. This is a brand new one. Right, this is an IPO. Okay, so guys, keep an eye on this name. Mike's great at finding some good IPOs and some good movers right here. A lot of confidence in this name and the management of it. This thing bounced. We don't really see this a lot on IPOs, right? It gave a strong candle right here, and it gapped up huge, right? So if we go to the shorter term time frames on this one, let's just go to the hourly chart. Where is the hourly chart? It's hiding over here somewhere. So yeah, I mean, really, it looks like just kind of a quick 1-2 gap wave 3, possibly wave 4 right here. So keep an eye on this one. It's not obviously options are not going to be available right now, but it's definitely one to look at. So so another interesting one right there. So good stuff. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Emmy Kumar. So please cover some of these we leverage for day trade. Something we can leverage for day trade. Yeah. So any of the charts that we put out there, and even if you're a part of the Bubble Report at thebubblereport.com, or in our Discord group, and those links are in the Those links are in the description. Any of these waves that we look at are setting up, like so. For instance, Zoom. Like I said, we're both looking at it for a potential move up. Paul's looking at it for an impulsive move up. I'm looking at it for maybe a little bit more of a wave two up before we see a bigger move down. But it's all about looking and seeing how it's doing on the intraday. Right, so that is really critical right there. So Christian, what's going on? Good evening. Blonde Broca is here. So she's got a request out there for Microsoft for Mr. Softy. I don't know if you could if you've got a chart on Microsoft, Paul.
Sure, I got one. Let's see here. Microsoft. Microsoft. Okay, here's a bunch of 1-2s. It looks like we had a wave 2 down ABC, and then a 1-2, 1-2, and then we had another 1-2, but we got a nice bullish candle right off to 786. We're stuck in the cloud, but I think this one could go. I like the close over the ADMA, so we'll see.
I like this one last week. There was a trade of the week idea. It didn't get going. It did give us some good day trades on it to try to get it going, but then it's still kind of consolidating out there and maybe gearing up for more of a move. So it's on our go-to list, so we'll continue to keep it on the radar. But great request, Blondberger. It's definitely getting tight. It's getting tight. So we got that going on. GG, can we discuss Facebook and Apple early next week potentials? Let's do Apple. Paul, do you have anything on Apple? If not, I'd be happy to look at. A lot of people are asking about Apple right now, and there's a lot of chatter about it, like kind of setting up bullishly on the weekly chart, but it doesn't have a lot of volume right now. So let's see what it's up to.
Right. I mean, we got this nice one wave up, but we're not even to the 236 yet. We've only retraced a little bit, so this I think Apple could go down, close to the 382 or even down to the 50%.
Yeah, I agree. On the day trade side, we've been getting some nice short opportunities on Apple, and I just haven't seen the impulsive upside movement. So it's been really weak at the open. We're jumping in that at the open, getting some nice trades at the open, and then it's just kind of chopping around. It gave a couple of little moves on Friday, but other than that, it's kind of blah. There's a lot of flow coming into it, right? We track a lot of option flow. There's a lot of big money that's trying to think that it's going to go up, but it may pull back a little bit before it's ready to move. So that's a good one right there. Thanks, Gigi. I appreciate it. Javier's got one out there for CMG. CMG.
CMG. I think I got CMG. Let's see. CMG. CMG. Hold on. Let me find it. Maybe I don't have CMG. Actually, let me see.
You don't have CMG? I can pull it up.
Oh, I got it.
You got it?
Go. All right. Let's see here. CMG. Okay.
There it is. Oh, look at CMG.
CMG's been kind of flat and sideways. I think it's possible we could get a little push down here to the 618 and then bounce up, but it's just been flat and sideways for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so just kind of chopping around there. Let's wait for some sort of sign of strength on it, guys. CMG. Some folks like to trade it. Javier, this is a tough name to trade. This thing gaps on the intraday and has some low volume. It used to be a little bit more fun to trade before the Corona crash, but it's just got really the liquidity has really dried up a lot on it, and the spreads are not nice on the options either. So we typically don't mess with it, but it is an interesting one to look at. There's some talk about it. Possibly doing a stock split, so that could get it hyped up again. But we'll see where that goes from there. Blondberger's got another one out there. SE, I know you were looking at a little bit earlier, Paul.
Oh, SC? Okay.
Yeah,
I got that. SC. Let's see here. SC. I definitely got that one. Okay. I'm getting all my 1-2 setups. Okay. Here's SC. This could have been a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an impulse up, but I just let this one go all 1-2s just for the heck. But I think with this strong candle Friday, we might get a strong push up here to the 2.618 for wave 3.
Mm-hmm. It's been a very popular name too. Especially it had such an epic run up on the daily chart recently, and so let's see if they're trying to get some more action into it. So SPK, what's going on? So he's got Shop out there. I'll take a look at Shop unless you've got one ready on it.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Okay, yeah. So let's take a look at Shop here and see what it's looking like. So Shop's been pretty tricky, right? So it's this has been a tough name to trade too, sort of like CMG. It's been really challenging with the spread. So obviously one of the big things I'm looking at here is the geometric line, right? So we haven't really got above it yet. So it looks like we impulsed up to the geometric line right here. You can count possibly a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up, and we might just kind of be consolidated here. Maybe this is maybe we're in a triangle wave 4 right now, or it's still chopping chopping, but I do like that it's gotten over the ADMA, and I really want to see if this thing's ready to go. So off of this last wave up here, right, you can see we're hanging under the 382 right now, so that's good, and we're holding on to the ADMA. But let's just kind of see. It could be ABC type move, and then let's look for some relative strength, and maybe it's getting ready to break out of that geometric line. So definitely one to keep an eye on there. So good stuff. Thanks, SBK. Appreciate it. Cigar, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, glad you got everything worked out there. And Armand's got we got a couple of good ones out there. So V and PLT. Oh, and DKNG. These are all good names.
Sure. I think I got a DKNG chart in here. Let's see. DKNG. Yeah, this has been a fun one. Looks like we have an impulsive move up. I have this as a wave 3. We have an AB. We're on wave C right now, and we're only at the 236. I mean, sometimes Apple likes to bounce off the 236, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go a little bit lower here into the 382 for wave 4.
I agree. The 236 is usually reserved for like super momentum movers, right? So this is a little bit sluggish for a momentum mover with the volume kind of declining and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. I wouldn't be surprised to see it pull back to at least the 382 there. But it did give us a nice move out of the cloud there on the 4-hour chart, so that's good.
Yeah.
So good stuff there. Do you have one for PLTR?
Yep. PLTR. Okay, PLTR. I had a couple multiple counts here, it looks like. Okay, so PLTR, it looks like we had a wave 2 down, but it only went to the 50%. So I'm thinking it's possible we might get more of an ABC down to the 618. That's the bearish count. But, if the bulls come out, it's possible we could get this red count where we go 1, 2, and then up from there. So nice. This one in my head's kind of a 50-50. We're just going to have to watch and see what it does if we get the bull count or not.
Multiple counts on that one. Looks good. Armand, let me take a look at V there for you, and then Paul, if you want to get one for CUG there. CUG, we already looked at Microsoft, but if CRM, Paul, when you're ready.
Sure.
But I'll go ahead and just take a look at V here real quick and just see what that's doing. I know it's been on the radar a lot. This V we've been talking about here a bit has been channeling nicer. We got a really good level right here. It had a strong day on Friday. So at this point here, we can kind of look at this as the impulsive wave up. This could be an ABC down move, and this could be sort of like a 1-2-1-2 getting ready to work its way up here for another impulsive move up. But V is not really a big momentum mover. It often just kind of does this. So let's see if it can confirm above this geometric line. Otherwise, this might be a larger A, B, because this looks like 3, 3, and then we might see a kind of an impulsive move down on it, unless we can confirm above these geometric lines here with volume. So that's what I'm checking on there, Armand. So good stuff. Paul, CRM.
Cream. Okay. No, we got that.
We talked about this last week, didn't we? After the work news and all that stuff, the work buyout.
Yeah.
And I think you were still bearish on it.
Yeah, I was pretty sure we were going to come down to the bottom of this channel in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I was watching for. But we did get this little push here. And looking at it now, it does look like wave 1 could be a leading diagonal. We're going to get a wave 2 down to the 618, and this bull count might play out.
Nice. You got that nice open gap above, and I think they actually had pretty good earnings, but they were down because they're going to be shelling out $27 billion for some chat software. So we got that going on, but we'll see, right? I mean, it still could continue to work its way down to the channel, so that is a very, very interesting one to keep on the radar right there. Not an easy one to trade either. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at what else. We don't have too much more time to look to go through requests, but I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. Christian, thanks so much for tuning in here. You got a few in there. It looks like we hit a few of your requests on that one. Spencer, good to see you. You got the Big C on there. I know a couple members in the group have been looking at that one too. Do you have anything on Big C?
Yeah, I got a good chart for Big C. Big C. Yeah, this was going down for a long time, and I missed this first move up, but we had a nice wave 1 up and then a wave 2 down. It looks like we're getting a nice impulsive move up again, another wave 1. I would wait till we get a pullback to jump in this one, but it looks like a strong count.
Gotcha. Good stuff. Mudasim, you got IQ out there? I'd be happy to pull up IQ, Paul.
Okay, go for it.
All right, so let's take a look at IQ. So again, really tricky with a lot of the Chinese names recently, right? So this gave a big impulsive move down right here, and on the daily chart, and it doesn't really look like it's done yet. I mean, that was a huge move down, and if we just kind of just go here and we just put a Fibonacci on this, right? Big retrace right there. We haven't come back and retested 302, but if this wants to be impulsive, like we talked about, that 236 can be an impulsive move. If this breaks down below the 80 MA again, this may be your, kind of like your A. This could be your B, and we might see a larger wave C down. So just a little bit of caution IQ. It's tough. I like how we're over the 80 MA, but a breakdown below that inside day can be rough. And IQ is a tough one to trade these days too. A lot of liquidity is dried up in that, so just be careful with that one. So good stuff there. And what else? We've got a few other requests out there too. I don't know if you've done any on TT, guys. Thanks so much for checking out these names. We're just going to grab a few more of these. We've got Amazon out there, and looks like Laura's got. We've got a few requests out there. Ronald and Laura for ATVI.
ATVI.
Oh, Michael, Laser already has options on it. Sweet. After 2 days, you gotta love it. Oh, because it was probably like a SPAC or something like that. Okay, cool, good.
Okay. All right, I do have an ATVI chart here. Okay, I don't know. This was an interesting one. Okay, so we had a wave 3 up, and then we had this big zigzag sideways move down for a long time, but it breaks down into a WXY, which is 3 ABCs, and then we get this impulsive move up. We had a wave 2 down right to the 618, and another impulsive move up. I think I'm counting this as a wave 3, and then we should be getting an ABC down for wave 4. Or wave 3 might extend tomorrow and keep going up. We'll see.
That's a tough name. It's a tough name, guys. That thing can chop around a lot. Be careful with that name. And Laura's got PFE. Have you done any on PFE recently? That had some big news, big vaccine news the other day. Going to be available in California. Big orders for Pfizer. We traded that at the open with some huge, huge moves on Pfizer, and then. And then they came out with news that basically crashed the market, saying that their availability is not going to be out there for for the vaccines. It's going to be half and all that stuff. And then Pfizer came back out and they're like, guys, we've been telling you that the whole time. That's not even real news. And then the market just started going back up again, right? So we've got that going on. So good stuff there. But what are you showing on Pfizer?
I had us going up in a wave 1, down in a wave 2. And we're working on this impulsive wave 1 up, and it's pretty clear. We got a leading diagonal wave 1, wave 2, and then you can see the fast explosive wave 3, triangle wave 4, and we're setting up for a wave 5 up.
Nice. Could be good, Loris. Could be good. Awesome stuff. So good job on Laser, guys. We had one question out there on how do you get the volume profile on your trading view on the right-hand side?
I think that is by far the most asked question about. Let me see if I can get it up here. 2-hour indicators, financials.
So you go to indicators.
For some reason, my indicator button is not.
It's going to be.
It's under indicators, but
yeah, Emin Kumar. It's going to be it's going to be an indicator, and it's going to be some sort of volume profile indicator.
Yeah, it's not. For some reason, I can't get this tab to drop down, but it is under the indicators, and it says volume profile. That's how you get to it.
Yeah. So definitely keep an eye out for try to look for those and look for a volume profile that you can put the settings on the right side there. So maybe next time if you have any questions you can ask us on Twitter or something like that. So I'm happy to help. So Brandon, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Loving the series. Wonder if you guys have a count for AMT. Looks like it found support on Friday. So American Tar. Paul, I don't think you chart AMT.
Oh, AMT. No, I don't have that.
Yeah, let me pull one up just to see what I can find on it real quick here. So AMT is a tricky name here, right? But it's an important one, right? For the 5G stuff that's coming out here. Wow, this is such a sloppy name. This is a really tough one to trade. I'd be really, really careful with this one. It does look like it has found some support. I agree on that. But in terms of a wave count, it is just probably like probably a WXY type there. I mean, this thing is just blah. Let's wait and see if it's ready to impulse up. So we do have that going on there. But yeah, it's in a very, very interesting area of potential support. So good stuff. Thanks for tuning in. Awesome stuff. Yep, Blumberger, nice job. Good stuff. Corey, thanks for tuning in too. Great stuff. Nick, we already looked at Apple. And so Anil, what's going on? How do you extrapolate the wave with time on right? In the past, you mentioned you lost a note on that. Extrapolate the wave with the time on the right. Wave with the time on the right. So I think wave with the time on the right.
You talking about the wave times or the?
I'm not. I guess I don't understand the question. On that one. Sorry, Anil. What else we got there? So Angel's out there too. Good to see you. We got only a little bit of time left, guys. So we'll probably just take a look of a couple ones that are out there. Let's look at AMD. AMD. There's a couple requests on that one, and then we got to
Okay.
finish up with Tesla. Tesla.
Okay. Tesla. Yeah, no problem. So for AMD, no, this is a nice chart. We've got a nice wave 3 up, wave 4 down, and we're going up in another wave 5, which will finish the wave 3. But it looks like we've had a little push up here, and I think we might get a little pull back tomorrow and then start going back up again. Hoping for a red to green open in AMD tomorrow.
Nice. That would be sweet. That would be a good one. So nice one on AMD. And then do we have one more? Oh, before we look at Tesla, let's answer Cecilia's question there on RKT. I know you've been charting that one.
RKT, yeah. Let's see here. Another one that everyone's waiting on. Let's see. Seems like the more people that are long, they just don't move. But so here
I
we
know,
go.
right? Exactly.
Yeah,
I put this on the bearish on our bearish radar in the bubble report a couple times, and it's given us some nice downside moves. It gave us kind of a doji sandwich down recently, but that's kind of short term time frame type stuff. But
yeah. So we've had this wave went up, and then we've had this slow zigzag down. But you can see we're just past the 618, so we could easily go down a little bit lower before this bumps up again.
nice, good find on that one too. And
Yeah.
then APPS. So we've got a couple requests on that one. But for APPS, you're saying you think it has a nice count, but you don't have the knowledge of Elliott wave theory. It's all right. Just keep watching the show here, and we'll talk about it. So APPS. I don't know if you've got a fresh count on that. Oh yeah, Paul's got a good count on this one.
I
So
got a
check
good
this
one
out,
on
Javier.
Let's see here. So apps, what do we got here? We had a 1-2, 1-2, a 1-2 down, and right now it looks like we had an impulsive move up in a wave 1. You can kind of see it's overlapping, looks like a leading diagonal, and we're getting a wave 2 down. We did go to the 382, so it's possible. It's possible we could go up from here, but it's also possible we could ABC down more into the 618 golden zone area before we go up again.
Before we go, so definitely want to keep an eye on there. Good stuff. Awesome. Well, good stuff, guys. I'm sorry we didn't get to everybody's chart requests tonight. As you know, it's with multiple people, it takes a little bit longer. But don't forget, guys, we'll be live again here tomorrow where we do our normal show, and so I'm happy to go through the lightning round and check out everybody's requests. So be sure to tune in tomorrow. If anybody's new here, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. And again, to give Paul an extra thanks for being here this evening, be sure to hit the like button. We like to see that, and it goes a long way. So even if you guys are watching the recording, be sure to hit the like button as well. And also check out the links in the description, right? So we've got links to thebubblereport.com. That comes out every morning before 7:30 Eastern time. Gives a full view of what we look at going into the day in the market, including 2 fresh wave counts from Paul that we put in that morning newsletter. And if you want to join us in the Discord and in the private Twitter, there's a link in there too for trading with Paul, right? So be sure to check that if you want to join us in the Discord too. So awesome, guys! I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. And Paul, thanks so much for being here again tonight. And looking forward to another great show next week too.
Hey, thanks, John. You're welcome. And thanks everybody out there in Twitter land for all the likes and retweets. That really helps.
Awesome,
We appreciate
guys.
it.
Really good stuff, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Thanks again, Paul. And we'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow. If you guys are in our group, we'll see you guys in the streams and in the bubble report. And otherwise, we'll see you guys on Twitter and on YouTube for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And until then, guys, stay healthy out there. And remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay